May 2023 will be an endless whirlpool of events for many of us. By tradition, the spring months are reflected in the sphere of romance and relationships between people, undeservedly ignoring the professional aspects. For May 2023, this state of affairs will most likely be an exception to the rule. The Sun in Taurus and the full moon in Scorpio, together with Mercury retrograde, are able to redefine our priorities, directing the main efforts towards ensuring material well-being. Support for the implementation of our endeavors will be provided by Venus in a favorable aspect with Jupiter. This will make the general atmosphere of the month more benevolent, but it will also sharpen your intuitive abilities, which will help you get out of most of the difficulties on the way to the goal. This assistance may not be available to everyone. Despite the luck that comes into our hands, with active Venus there is always a risk of an increase in the emotional background, throwing from side to side, and as a result of making mistakes, the essence of which is to make decisions based not on arguments and facts, but on a momentary mood. The beginning of May 2023 will be crumpled and patchy. The horoscope for the first decade of the month encourages us to be more careful and prudent in our decisions. In such cases, the signing of contracts and the assumption of obligations should be postponed to a more suitable period. In this regard, there will, of course, be exceptions, but, in general, it would be the right decision to avoid responsible and drastic measures. In other words, it is not necessary to simply refuse and brush off any proposals. Some decisions and projects may turn out to be promising, but your decision should be postponed for at least a few days. The beginning of the month is more suitable in terms of preparing the ground for future actions, in order to understand all the subtleties and nuances and to assess possible risks. In the middle of May 2023, all signs will indicate that a balance will be drawn between various areas of life. This may provide an excellent opportunity to solve urgent problems in one fell swoop. With the right motivation and a clearly defined goal, this month you can do more than you imagine, and with the first success in your chosen field, a second wind will open, allowing you to make the final point. But the stars do not recommend allowing hangers-on to cash in on your successes, rather, they even insist on counteracting such partners. Any injustice must be stopped. Otherwise, it will lead to unnecessary losses and even allow the situation to repeat itself in the future, probably in a different capacity, but with more negative consequences. The above applies, for the most part, to the field of business. In the field of relationships and romance, everything is not so simple. Relations during this period will be more tense than smooth. This is equivalent for relationships with lovers, family members, and members of the work team. Someone will have to apply double standards, and someone else should be treated with understanding. By the end of the month, medium-term projects will be completed. We should draw conclusions from recent events and try to look to the future in order to find new guidelines there. In the third decade of May 2023, it will be possible to make the right decision in the professional field of activity freely and without regard to the opinion of others. But in the sphere of romantic relationships, a lull is expected by the end of the month. In a sense, for lonely people, this will be the calmest time of the year, when everyone is busy with pressing matters and courtship simply doesn't come up. Almost everything will also happen with family members. Household chores and worries will fill almost all of your time. On the other hand, it will definitely benefit someone. The time occupied with routine affairs will not allow you to do any stupidity.